Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you've had a good first week back getting to grips with Microsoft Teams. Obviously we're still on Doddle and these videos are on YouTube for now, but eventually we think we'll be getting over to Microsoft Teams as well, so hopefully we'll be able to interact a little bit more there. We'll be able to ask any questions that you have, but for the time being keep noting them down. How annoying is it at the moment that all this sunshine and we can't do any PE lessons outdoors? The amount of times I've dragged you outside in the freezing cold when it's tipping it down and you've put up with it and you've smashed the lesson and you've just grit your teeth and bared it, and now it's brilliant weather and we're all stuck inside and we're only allowed outside for no more than an hour a day, so what a nightmare. But hopefully you're all getting outside, you're all exercising, keeping yourself fit. I know you're all probably missing your sports. It's killing me not playing football or being able to go out on long rides. I can't even run at the moment. I've done my car thing because, you know, when you go the other side of 30, that's it. You're classed as old now, and your body just falls to pieces. So, I've even just ordered myself one of those massage guns that's gonna arrive tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to sort my Achilles out, and then maybe I'll get running again. But for the time being, just to let you know what I've been doing fitness wise, I've been on the bike in the garden, the one that I posted on the PowerPoint a couple of weeks ago. Been making use of that. Luckily I can still do that, and I've actually been replicating my swimming. I've bought some resistance bands, and I've been using circuit training to replicate swimming movements, improving my muscular strength and my endurance in my upper body and my core. So hopefully when I do get back in the pool, I won't lose too much time. I imagine Jake might be doing something similar, and some of you others might actually be doing the same as well. So that's what I'm up to anyway. We better get to the lesson. We're actually starting the new Unit 2. So that is the second exam on your GCSE. So this one is worth 24% of your GCSE, your whole GCSE, so that's just under a quarter. The other one, Unit 1, is worth 36%. So between the two of those exams, it makes up 60% of your exam. 30% is your 3 sports, so each sport is worth 10%, and then the other 10% is your coursework. So that's how it's broken down. I know I've explained that a few times, but it's always good to recap it. So this component 2, is looking at health and breaking that down and a variety of ways to keep yourself fit and the benefits of that. So that's what we'll go into throughout the rest of this component. So it's worth just under a quarter of your exam, so obviously really, really important. Let's get cracking. So this PowerPoint, this paragraph has a load of mistakes in it. There's over 20 in there. See if you can find them all. What the paragraph does do is it sort of explains very briefly what we're going to be doing in this component and what you're likely going to be able to expect. So pause the video, have a look at the sheets that I've put in the Doddle folder, and meet me on the next slide. So, I'm not going to be going through it. You can see in red there where the mistakes are. Hopefully you found the one in the title, that's the first one. But it sort of lays out what we're going to be looking at. There are other topics as well. Some of my favourite topics are in this component, so I'm really looking forward to teaching them to you. I think I'm going to save them for when we see each other again. And what I'm going to try to do is pick some of the easier topics for you to do at home on your own, so when we have to get to grips with the more difficult ones, we'll be there face to face and we'll be able to go through it, or at least on Microsoft Teams. Okay, so there we go. Let's get cracking on the next topic. So, as you know already, health will be split into 3 types of health. So you've got physical, emotional and social health. Emotional, you might have also heard of as mental health. In this course, it references it as emotional. I may slip up and say mental health from time to time. I'll mostly try and say emotional. So if I say mental health, I'm talking about emotional health. So just bear that in mind. Okay. So physical health, we've talked about this a lot in component 1. It relates to your fitness, and also whether you're ill or injured, or if you have any illnesses or diseases. Okay. I do take these PowerPoints from lessons, so not with your partner, on your own, maybe with someone at home, discuss how you think exercise and sport may help your physical health. Okay, we've been through this before, so hopefully you'll think of loads of those things. So think how it affects your different body systems. So your cardiovascular body system, respiratory, skeletal, and muscular. How might it help you there? Okay, so have a think. I accidentally have just realised I forwarded it on. So just a few examples here are improved cardiovascular fitness. So the strength of your heart might have improved. Your cardiac output might have improved, well, probably will have improved. Reduced body composition, so this is the percentage of muscle, body, bones and fat in your body. So reduced body composition would mean probably reduced body fat. Not for everyone that's important. Some people are below what they need for body fat as well, so bear that in mind. So for some people, their body fat actually needs to come up. For some people, body fat needs to go down. Some people, it's just right. And also increase muscular strength and muscular endurance, really important as well. That's what I've been trying to do, to try and overcome my injuries and improve my physical health. I've been doing conditioning exercises to improve my muscular strength around my legs, so it takes the pressure off my calf. Okay. So, emotional health. Try just to look at this at the moment. I know you'll have the answers on your printout slides, but just have a look. Can you see which one of these pictures represents? Pause the video if you need to, and then meet me in a second. Okay, so let's have a look. So there's a variety of things that exercise and sport and taking part in fitness does for our emotional health, our mental health. So it helps us feel good. It releases endorphins. There is a hormone called serotonin that's released. It's released from your adrenal gland at the back of your head when you do exercise and other things that make you feel good, and that gets released into your bloodstream, and that's one of the reasons why, for example, if you're a runner, you get a bit of a runner's high, because after a while those endorphins really get to your body. Your brain sort of recognises them and it makes you really feel good. So that, if you've heard of a runner's high before, I know definitely a few of you in your class will have experienced that yourselves. You don't have to be runners to do that. That's one of the reasons why you sort of get that feeling, because these endorphins, this serotonin, has been released into your body, and you get a buzz off that basically. Relieve stress and tension. I've had a long week sat on the laptop doing your work, doing various bits of other work as well, so I'm off out for a bike ride after I've recorded this in the sunshine, and whenever I get back from one, my stress levels just decrease so much, because it helps take your mind off stresses. Those endorphins help to improve your stress levels as well. Any tension in your body it might release because the exercises work that out. Really does help me. I do notice a difference when I'm not exercising. I really get a little bit sort of pent up with frustration when I'm not exercising. I don't know if you guys are the same. You probably are, because you're all sporty people. Next one, increase confidence and self-esteem. The better you get at something, the more self-esteem you have. There will be a variety of reasons why your confidence will improve, whether it's from speaking to other people, whether it's you feel like you're bettering yourself, more confident in the way you look, for example, which leads on to aesthetic appreciation. To be aesthetically pleasing means for something to look good. Aesthetic appreciation, it doesn't mean how other people see you. Here, in terms of emotional health, is how you feel about yourself and the way you look, for example. So that might be a benefit for you there. If for someone, for one of their targets, it might be to lose weight, for example. Not everyone has to do that, but for someone it might be, and they might want to do it to improve the way they feel about the way they look. Okay, that's not something everyone has to do. Some people may choose to do that. Enjoyment is a really easy one. It's the one that people miss out a lot. I take part in football because I enjoy it. I do running, swimming, whatever, because I enjoy it. You guys do your dance, rugby, whatever, swimming, football, hockey, whatever, because you enjoy it. Simple. And the last one we've got on here, there will be slight other ones as well, but the main ones we've recognised are these ones. The last one is the challenge. Challenge, your brain sort of wants challenge. It needs it to really function properly, and that challenge really gets you interested in the sport and really gives your brain something to work on, and helps your brain expand as well. So that, for me, that's an important one as well. Okay, moving on. So we've got social health. Pause the video, see if you can work out what these three pictures mean. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got cooperation, so that'll be teamwork, you might sort of call that as well. So working with each other, that's a benefit of exercise on social health. You've got developing friendships and mixing socially. Excuse me, I'm just going to grab a drink. So, developing friendships and mixing socially. Sport's brilliant for that, particularly team sports. But even then, when you're not doing team sports, when you go to a gym, you're going to meet new people at a gym. Whether it be the personal trainer or the people there, because they'll have similar interests to you. And then you've got gaining a good attitude to competing, so sportsmanship, just having a good attitude towards other people that take part in the sport or the type of exercise themselves. Okay. So, like I said, these slides were based for a classroom, so I would have put some examples around the room, and you would have had to have said whether they're a physical benefit, social benefit, or an emotional benefit. You actually have a mix and match document on Doddle. Have a look at that, see if you can match them all up, which one is which, and meet me on the next slide. So here we have a list of them all. I'm not going to stand here and go through them all because the video will be too long, and I've been trying to promise myself that I'll stop talking as much on these videos, but as you know, I love the sound of my own voice, so I'll just keep going, but I'm going to try and stop. But just really briefly, it's split into the three there. I'm hoping that you can read that, but if not, obviously you've got it on your PowerPoint slides as well. There are some arguments sometimes about one might be emotional or social or physical or emotional. Generally on the exams, if you want an exam tip, there is a right or wrong answer. Generally, I would say, because usually it's a 1 or 2 mark answers. In those cases, it's a right or a wrong. Or if it's a 2 marker, it's a right or wrong, then a little bit of an explanation or a description. So I would give yourself a tick or a cross if you've managed to get it right, and then can you give yourself a sporting example for each one, just as a little bit of an extension. Okay, so this is your last task. So meet Hannah. She's a regular gym goer and loves training for muscular strength, and obviously she'll benefit from muscular endurance there as well. What you need to do is name the positive and negative effects of health of training on Hannah's well-being. Have I mistyped something there? Yeah, I have. So that's basically supposed to say name the positive and negative effects on health. Oh no, it is right, it's just a bit wordy. On training on Hannah's well-being. So your last task, you looked at the physical, emotional and social benefits of training, of exercise, of sport. Not all of them were on there, so you can still think outside the box. But there are also some negatives as well involved in that. Not necessarily negatives of exercise, but maybe something that Hannah might choose to do, for example. I will give you one thing you could put in the negative column for physical effects, and that is that because she's a regular gym goer and loves training for muscular strength, if she overtrains, she could potentially injure herself. So that's a negative. So that's one example for you there. We're not looking for anything complicated, we're just looking for simple answers, really. Like I say, this topic's not too difficult, so you really don't need to think too much. Excuse me. But I think we all have worked out that there will be a lot more positive effects than negative. So give it a go. I'd recommend setting it out like this. It'll be a nice little revision tool for you as well. So save these notes, like I keep saying, keep them in one place, and then you've got a great little revision pack there to work with, and you can bring them in for me to check if you'd like whenever we see each other again. You can, if you wish, choose to write it in paragraph form. I was debating whether to make you do that or not to keep your writing up to speed or to scratch, but I think you'll get that in other subjects as well, and this isn't really a topic that lends itself to long answers. So I would probably just do it like this and use it for revision, if I'm honest. Okay. On that point, we will have to do an extended answer at some point, so I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but as soon as I get a topic that will lend itself to an extended answer, we're doing it. Okay. Right, so give that a go. Meet me on the next slide. Alright, so got some answers for you here. Like I say, not all of them will be on these 3 sheets, but I'll just quickly go over the negatives. You've probably gone over the positives already. I can picture you all now, sat in the classroom, putting their hands up and saying, or Mr. Brownsell's classroom, putting your hands up and saying, oh, what about this, what about this? Obviously, I can't answer those things, so you'll have to try and work it out for yourself. Usually, I would say be quite harsh on yourself, and say, no, that I can see why actually that would have been emotional, or why that would have been physical or social. So, I'll go through the negatives and then we'll call it a day. Right, so the negative effect of training on physical health. So you've got overexertion, so overtraining can cause an increase in blood pressure, which could lead to a heart attack or a stroke. Sounds quite extreme, could happen, particularly if that person is older or more elderly, or a little bit more unfit and has tried to do too much. That could cause complications there. You've got overuse injuries, so that's why we're talking about overtraining. So tennis elbow might prevent you from taking part. So we've been through that. You've done that recently, a couple of months ago. And golfer's elbow, so that's a repetitive strain injury, so it's doing it over and over again. So if you're playing tennis every day, that overuse of your elbow, possibly even your wrist as well, it strains the tendons and ligaments in there. Okay, so your emotional health, so training can lead to injury, we've said that already, from physical, so this is how they all start to link together, so you can think about that as well. This can lead to depression, as they may not be able to train. That is obviously an extreme version, but not even depression, it could just lead to a decrease in mental well-being and mental fitness. Obviously that is a negative thing. Sport can lead to frustration, anxiety and anger if emotions aren't controlled. So your mental well-being could also be affected if you're constantly thinking about, let's take professional footballers for example, their mental health has been talked about a lot recently, and one of the things they keep saying is when they're stressing so much about being able to take part in the team, and when they're not taking part and in the first 11, that really does affect their mental health. So that can be quite a negative thing as well. Finally, social health. So some performers may spend too much time training and less time with their families. So obviously it takes them away from socialising with the family and their social health. And that might come from them being obsessed with training. Sometimes people might fall out with people on the team for example, as well. That might be something to do with that. And that's a bit more clutching at straws there. One last little extension task for you, if you choose to do it, if you've got the time, is can you work out how some of these link together? So this example here, so training can lead to injury, this can lead to depression. That is how two of these link together. So how physical health and emotional health might link together. Can you think of some other ways as well? Can you think about how it applies to yourself? Have you ever experienced any of these before? You definitely will have done, probably 80% of them at least. So related to yourself, that's one of the best ways that you can remember topics, is if you have an understanding of it and think, how does that apply to me? All of these topics we do in the exam will apply to you. There's no topic that I think probably wouldn't apply to you, because it's all about your body, all about sport. No way it doesn't apply to you. So think about how it applies to you and your sport. You'll notice that I talk about me all the time. Obviously I love doing that, but that's the way I remember it. That's the way I talk through things, is thinking about, well, how does this topic relate to me? Right, I'll think about it, then I'll explain it to the class. And that's how it works for me. Okay, so hopefully it'll work for you guys as well. So that's that. I'm not sure if on your printouts you will see an extra couple of slides that I've hidden. I've chosen not to do them, but basically they were exam questions. If you can see them on the file that I've saved for you, give them a go if you want. Like I say, you might have run out of time and you might need to do some other subjects and balance your topics for the day, so that's absolutely fine. That's no problem at all. I really hope you're well, guys. This week, for Wednesday's lesson, we're going to set you another physical task again. I'm not going to do another theory task because I bet you've got loads of work on Microsoft Teams and it might have slowed you down this week. You might have had a fair bit of work there, so I don't want to put any added pressure on you. So we'll just do one theory lesson this week, and then all I want you to do is promise me somehow mentally over the brainwaves that you will keep exercising most days. Make sure you have rest days because they're important to recover, but exercising most days and keeping yourself active to keep your brain active, because that's an emotional health benefit. Yeah. So make sure you're doing that. There's different ways you can do that. The Nike Training Club app is fantastic. If you use that regularly, it will really help you with your coursework when we come to do it in year 10. Your understanding of it will be really helped out by that. There's loads of videos on the PE Chorlton YouTube account. There's loads of stuff on there as well. You all know how to keep yourself fit as well, so just do whatever you're doing if you've been doing it already. And then the last thing is a good little tip to help out with your coursework for the future is, can you design your own circuit training program for your own sport? Yeah. So for example, I'll talk about me again. I need to keep my speed up and running because I'll have a couple of events coming up eventually whenever we're allowed out of our houses again. But I can't run because I'm injured, so I'm trying to adapt my circuit training to help my injury out and to also make sure that I am not going to lose too much fitness when I can actually run again. So a lot of my exercises and my circuit training are squats, because that improves the strength and muscular endurance in my quadriceps and my hamstrings and my gluteus maximus as well, and various other exercises that help to improve the strength in my calves, so that did I just say calves? In my gastrocnemius, so that the muscle fibres in there will start to repair a little bit better, and hopefully the strain in my Achilles will relieve itself. So that's the kind of thing I've been doing, to give you an example. Some of you guys, netballers, you might want to work on your cardiovascular fitness, so running might be great for that. Maybe some interval training. Think about what methods of training you might want to use. You could do interval training, firelit training, circuit training if you've not really got anywhere to run outside. There's loads of stuff you can do. Okay, I've managed to witter on again. I'm going to shut up now. I'm off for a bike ride. I'll catch you guys soon. All the best. Hopefully the sun will keep shining. See you later, guys.